Hey guys, this is Tashina from Logical Harmony. I'm here today to do a demo and first impressions of the new Sigma 4DHD Kabuki brush. This is one of the new brushes in their dimensional collection that they recently launched. I've done videos so far on the other three, and now I'm doing this final fourth video. So I'll link to those other ones down below so you guys can check those out. Sigma did send me these brushes to try out, and I was really intrigued by all of them because of their very different shapes. As you can see, this one is a full-on triangle in every sense of the word. According to Sigma, this is the concealer brush you didn't know you needed. The dense, super soft Kabuki comes to a point that blends out under eye concealer perfectly and will diffuse cover up on spots, crevices, and scars, while the sides of the pyramid shape can be used for larger areas and to press setting powder into shape. So I'm going to test this out with two different concealers today and also with setting powder as well, because I really wanted to put the claims to the test and see if this works or if the shape is just a little bit gimmicky. So I did use this today for my face, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you're curious about how this works, just keep watching. I'm going to prime my face with the 100% pure luminous primer. This just gives a really nice moisturized base. And because I do want to see how well this works with concealer, I am going to apply concealer before foundation today. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I want to see specifically just the results of concealer and this brush. It says it's the concealer brush you didn't know you needed, so I want to put that to the test. And I'm actually going to be using two different forms of concealer. So the first one that I'm going to use is the Pacifica Transcendent Concealer. This is a lighter, more serum-like concealer that comes on a wand. And then the second one I'm going to be using is the Cover FX Cream Concealer. This is a much thicker formula. It's much more pigmented, and I'm going to use one on each eye because I'm just really curious to see how this brush works with different concealer formulas, and my guess is that you are too. So I'm going to use the Pacifica Transcendent first, and I'm going to use the shade Light. So I'm going to take the wand and apply that underneath one of my eyes. And now I'm going to take the Sigma 4DHD and use that to blend out this concealer. So with that, it actually did a decent job. This is more of a light coverage concealer, and I feel like it blended it well. I'm not seeing any lines, I'm not seeing any creases from it, and it didn't pick up too much of the product onto the brush itself, which is always good. Going to apply a little bit more of that and see how it blends a second layer. Okay, so not bad. I'm not like blown away by it, but again, this is a light coverage concealer. I think the true test will be with this Cover FX concealer. So I'm gonna take just the tiniest drop. You really only need the tiniest amount of this to start with, and I'm gonna distribute that in smaller drops underneath my eye. So now I'm gonna take the 4DHD brush and try blending that out. And I'm using the shade G Light today. I'm gonna add a little bit more. I feel like it's doing a good job of blending the product, but it's kind of over blending it, and I feel like I'm losing coverage. Yeah, it's definitely better. And there is a lot more coverage with the Cover FX concealer because it is a more full coverage concealer anyway. So I'm going to go ahead, and now that I've shown how it applies the Pacifica, I'm going to add a little Cover FX on top of it just to balance out that coverage. And it says that you can also use this brush on any specific spots that you need to conceal. I don't have anything right now, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it around here on my nose where I get a little bit of redness just to see how well it works on those corners. And I'm taking the Cover FX concealer for this. And one of the claims of this brush is that because of the shape, it's able to get into more of those little small areas of your face and just be a little more tight on those areas. It definitely makes it easy to get in there. It really fits in tightly to shapes. Sigma says that you can also use this to apply setting powder to those same areas. So I'm going to apply my foundation and then try setting underneath my eyes using this brush as well. Okay, now that I've applied my foundation, I'm going to set underneath my eyes, and I'm going to use this lighter shade from this Wet n Wild contour kit. So I'm just going to dip the brush right into that and then press it underneath my eyes gently. I'm also going to set that area of my nose where I concealed with this brush as well. Now I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup off camera, and then I'll be back to share my final thoughts on this brush. Now that my makeup is done, I wanted to come back and share my final thoughts on this brush with you guys. I have mixed feelings about it. So it definitely did help apply concealer. It blended it out really easily. I felt like it just made the process very simple and very quick and very easy. I can see how the shape works really well in areas like around my nose and mostly underneath my eyes. It was a little bit big. I think if it was a finer point, it might work better underneath my eyes. So I liked those things. What I didn't like was that some of the bristles were very blunt feeling. So it didn't feel actually the nicest blending out underneath my eyes. Like when you feel it in the brush with your hands, it's really soft. It feels really nicely. But when you're blending, some of the bristles kept poking me and that was not that enjoyable. So I think that's the only downside I see to this brush. It's kind of like one of those things where there are definite pros. I feel like the bristle pokey thing is a con, but it's not enough to deter me away from this brush. I feel like they probably have better concealer brushes, but at the same time, the ones that they have that I feel like apply nicely are a lot smaller, and so it takes a lot more work to apply your concealer. It doesn't blend it out as well. It doesn't have the same shape. So I'm a little bit torn on this one. I want to use it a few more times to decide how I really feel. Leave a comment, let me know what your favorite concealer brush is, and I'll see you guys next time.